And hopefully these two face off to open the Olympic gold medal game too.
Well, it's hard to believe how quickly the Olympics have come upon us. You know, the new year arrives and everybody looking, okay, we're close to that. Well, this is the Leafs' last game.
Sending it down into the Leafs zone. Big hit there on the forecheck out in front. And Anthony Stolarz with a tough stop of Leon Draisaitl.
Similar to the chance that the Toronto Maple Leafs got, a board battle, good physical play in deep, and a pass to the slot. And there,
get another chance to break out. Flip to center. Race for this. Robertson's going to beat out the icing. Robertson centers. It falls in. And Ingram with another tough stop in close.
Before getting the net, we've seen so many opportunities from behind the line. Here's another one.
Nyes comes up with the puck. Unable to get that to the line. And back the other way come the Oilers. Into the zone. Trent Frederick across. Here's a chance. And Stolarz comes across.
Get it past the goaltender, and then side to side, quick shot by Mangiapane, great save.
Domi was lurking at the Oiler line, but it's bumped back to the Leaf line. Here's McDavid, swings across, and Stolarz across to make the stop, but a penalty drawn, and Edmonton gets the first power play of the night.
Larson, but it ends up with a penalty at the end of it with the trip.
Coming off the boards, he'll leave it for Bouchard. Draisaitl with a quick turn away from the cave in front, and off the post. Hyman just missed.
But he hasn't left the gym alone, Craig and Chris, as working out is still on his Craigslist.
This game here, final one for the Leafs prior to the Olympic break. Timely for Craig Berube. He's headed back to Calahoo. There's a chance here for Matthews. Looked like that might have hit the netting in front. Kicked away by Ingram for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And now taken away. McMahon, he's home free. And Ingram turns him aside. Back Domi sends it high. This in response to the initial hit on McDavid. As the 25 will duel. And a pretty good tilt here.
Trajectory is of its pad, and Carlo wasn't going to be caught off guard. You saw how quickly Chris Carlo was ready. He knew as soon as Nurse got on the ice. Only a few guys you look on in this Oiler lineup and expect that kind of response.
25, Toronto 25, 5 minutes each for fighting.
And I like the fact that there's no aggressor there. If you saw the reaction, Carlo dropped his, knowing that Nurse was coming. And man,
LA, when he found out later his brother was a UFC fighter, right. He thought maybe I shouldn't have been involved. Here's a chance, Bouchard right on, and Stolarz has looked good here so far tonight. Andrew Mangiapane knocked off his stick. Nylander will turn. And the Oilers are changing. It's a 2-on-1. Nylander, stop, Maccelli, off the bar, off the pipe. And it stays out. Neither team's been able to buy one. And then they score on the tip. And the Leafs strike first.
but he didn't get that. On the follow-up, McCabe in a great position. That's a shot for a tip. That's not a shot trying to score. Get it through the lane. No, you've got a guy. And how about that? Between the legs, up and over.
Gloved ahead there, and Tavares at the line. Good strong stick by Nugent-Hopkins to hold it in. Here's Hyman to the net. Rolled in front. Chance, Bouchard. And Stolarz from that sharp angle. Connor McDavid was in Leon Draisaitl's office, and Stolarz comes up with a save. The critique of Stolarz early was trying to do too much, too busy, but on point so far tonight. That shot scores! The announcer jinx, and it's tied at 1.
It's behind. You can hear it hit the back of the net. But you can see Lawton trying to get to Roslovic, and it goes straight in, off that post and through. No contact before the puck went in. You can see everybody kind of looking, but Walman just absolutely unlays this one towards the net, up and over the pad with some traffic in front. Lawton, after missing the draw, took his centerman through, and that one didn't hit anyone. Just underneath the glove over the pad, and got yourself a 1-1 game.
5th of the year for Wallman. That's of the season for an Oiler blue liner. The 11-11 time of the goal. The break back. Matthew Nyes. 7 seconds later, the Leafs restore the lead.
How do you get this in just 7 seconds? A dump in. Simple plays we've seen so many times from behind. Ingram can't make the pass through, and a little give and go right down the gut. Szymanski's going back one way. Nyes gets inside there, and that's a tough play for Szymanski because he's thinking they got complete control.
Unable to corral that pass, and it's worked back to center. Here comes Draisaitl one more time. He is kicked away by Stolarz, left in front. And that broken up by Szymanski. And the breakaway pass just out of the reach of Saloy. He's got it, tries to center. That went off Ekman-Larsson. And Stolarz hopes he's got it.
And you know, with the game on the line, this is where he brings his best stuff.
3 shots, 6 shot attempts for McDavid on the night. We start the 3rd period. Back in December in Toronto, the Oilers broken. Matthews digs in on the draw, and from it, McMahon skated onto the puck. Matthews back to the line. Here's Stetcher. Domi! Glove stop, and a beauty by Ingram. Back to the line, Emberson and across. That shot wide of the net, ends up behind. Back up top for Emberson. But Colson on the move. Matthews trying to stay with him. Back the other way, Kapanen scores!
And puck movement, a little rotation across, up to the top. Crisscross here, but Colson with a hard drive, and then Kapanen walks right down the middle. A quick move around the stick, and just shows all kinds of confidence. You know, it's interesting. Chris Knobloch again went with the nuclear option, so it's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with those two. And on their first shift together in this 3rd period,
Nugent-Hopkins disrupts that. Now Tavares moves up. They change the look. John Tavares in the high slot. Nylander sweeps it across, and Tavares off the outside of the goalpost. Matthews up with it. Here's Matthews in front. Nyes can't get a stick on it. Back to Nylander. And across scores! John Tavares, backdoor, his 20th of the year.
Good puck movement, but a good job defensively of taking away the early chances. Great read by Ingram there on the one-timer by Tavares. And I think on this read, in tight, the rebound's there to clear. Oilers aren't able to, and a smart play by Nylander. A little bit of a tick off the skate stick of Ekholm, and then right on to John Tavares on the doorstep. And there,
on the back half of this power play for Toronto, it's Domi looking across, scores! What a finish for Matias Maccelli. Doubles down. And the Leafs have a 2-goal lead.
Both here in a tight 3rd period. Maccelli, as you said, hadn't scored in 11 prior to the last few. Scored in back-to-back games, and here his 2nd. What a great feed across from Domi. Froze the goaltender for a second. You could see Ingram thinking Domi maybe shoot with McMahon in front.
Watched by McMahon. McDavid can't get it to the net. Kept alive by Bouchard. Another chance for McDavid. Across. Draisaitl. Oh, what a stop. Matias Ekholm's got it. Here is Draisaitl snapping that across. Net empty. 6 men on for Edmonton. Bouchard on it. McDavid wants it. Tried to get it to Draisaitl. Bobby McMahon. Empty net. Bullseye.
Is, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson able to clear it. The give-and-go passes, that time knocked away by Bobby McMahon. No hesitation.
That 3rd pair of Myers and Benoit, and Leaf fans are on their feet. The season series split.